Yeah, put it there. Okay. Yes. Just to give back some key points. We have this morning collected many inputs about problems, about issues, about good practices, about manifestos, about tools, about proposed solution, about a lot of things. And we think that the main objective, the main goal of this seminar is to have a well-defined umbrella strategy to collect all the inputs that comes from the different create an alliance, something that can make these general strategies, cities and peri-urban and rural areas, social research world, civil society participation, modular approach, systemic method, and again, participatory inclusive analysis, production of scenario of socioeconomic climatic impact combining data and information, implementation for an institutional dialogue, something real. How we will do that? We will want your voice. In 2 minutes, I will show you another document, an Excel document, with some questions that will give to you to make this idea of a food green deal in African cities, this idea of an alliance of food green deal in African cities, something the most concrete as possible. 1 second that I have to change the sharing documents. Well. Okay. We have prepared this questionnaire that we will try to fill with your contribution. Which are the questions? The first question is, well, I read in English, but you have the possibility also to read in French. What form could this alliance could take? How could the effort of separate entities be brought together in a broader framework that could enhance and organize them? Question number 2, what kind of role could your organization plays in the alliance? Question number 3, what general strategy could you support? Do you remember that we have received the documents that I have presented a few minutes ago that is divided in general and specific strategies? What general strategy could you support? What specific strategy could you support? And finally, what, if any, are the barriers to your participation in the alliance? And what next steps will you take to overcome them? I hope the questions are clear enough. I will ask you to inform us of your decision to take the voice, and we will write your name in your organization, and you will speak. And finally, we will ask you also if it will be the case to put in the chat your answer, because it's not so easy sometimes to take notes in real time. Okay, is it clear? If it is clear, if not, please signal that, inform us with the chats or directly with your voice. Otherwise, I ask who wants to be the first to take part to this framework composition. we would like, I repeat, and then leave you the floor. We would like to follow your opinion, to create a possible alliance, a possible form of alliance, to make real the general strategy of the position paper. Oh, thank you, and yes, I leave the floor to the ones who want to intervene.
Questo, dire questo.
Ok.
Così poi possiamo copiare direttamente volendo il testo nell'Excel.
Per inserire qui cosa devono fare loro?
Aprire questo anziché la chat. Credo, aspettate che
Yes, just 1 second to give you the possibility also to intervene by another option than invoice.
Può usare quello?
No, uso direttamente. Okay. If you prefer, you can answer also through the chat. It's easier for you and it's easier also for us to record all your comments and enter into the frame and the Excel file after that. Cristina Toscano, she wants to intervene. If I correctly see, please, Cristina.
Can you see me?
Yeah.
Okay, I can try to. It's not my hand. I don't know why I put the hand raised, but it's okay. I can start.
I have seen
no, but it's fine. It's fine. Someone has to start. Yeah, I was expecting some to know what kind of methodology you were going to use for the afternoon. So I was expecting some questions. So they are real time. So the answers can also. I imagine you do also expect answers that are just a brainstorming response, since we all have to report back to our teams and reflect within our organization. So I start, and then even Ilaria Caramia from Fondazione Compagnia di San Paolo can intervene if there's something we want to share together. Do we start from question number 1, or do we go through all the questions at a time?
We can start from the number 1, but if you want to start differently, you can do that, of course.
No, just to know what is the flow. So it's a sort of brainstorming through the question 1, and then we
yeah, as you prefer. If you want to have yes, the question number 1 for everyone, or if you prefer to give some reply also to other questions, it's up to you. If you prefer, as you prefer.
Okay. No, so my question, I have a questions responding to a question. So my question is, the framework of the Millar Urban Food Policy Pact now is well defined and structured. I think that it took a bit of time to establish the governance of the path, and then all the role of the participants, and then the role of the secretariat, and then the way of involving all the cities around the world. So my question is, as far as Africa, there has been a strong involvement of our NGOs in supporting the secretariat. You mentioned ACRA, Manitese, and there's been others. There's been the municipality of Milan, the International Development Unit. So also as foundations, I can see a connection to the work you did up to now in as far as Africa, because especially talking about Burkina Faso, all the projects that have been then sponsored by the Italian agency and all the alliances among organizations, they were also supported by us in the previous years through our initiative Fondazioni for Africa. So how could we give a structure of this alliance, tackling African cities, and all the partners that want to work with them in a broader framework? I don't know. Maybe first of all, we should listen to you and learn what are the key aspect of success of the pact framework. How do you think that the involvement of African countries and African cities, at what stage is the involvement of African cities and their ownership of the process? And how could we all contribute to a new form of cooperation? So I'm sorry, I don't have answers, but I have questions. Because I couldn't, I mean, I read a lot about the process involving African countries, but really I know at what stage is the framework at African levels, if there is space for the involvement of other African cities. As foundation, as I said before, we do usually play a role of facilitation, supporting experiments, catalyzing actors, and create pool funding. So this is what I can say.
Okay, Christina, I think that we will also hear from Filippo that has raised the hands, and maybe Andrea, did you have raised the hands? And after Filippo, and so we will try to answer to your question or to give a contribution. Thank you, Cristina. Filippo, I give you the floor.
Okay, thank you, and thank you, Cristina, for raising those questions. Well, I think that the pact will to play a role and provide, let's say, the platform that is quite, let's say, known now and spread in many African cities. So we can, let's say, provide, so this is maybe question number 2, but let's say the platform of exchange and let's say all the knowledge, food policy knowledge that we have collected through the award and that we are disseminating in different ways, also through the program that we had with together with FAO, with the training on food waste with Kigali and Nairobi. This is just an example that mentioned Cecilia before. And so also, also let me mention the new handbook that we launched 5 days ago with RUAF and FAO on the monitoring framework connected to the pact framework for action. This is, in my opinion, a very useful tool, not just for cities, but also for the other stakeholders, the sponsor that can also monitor and evaluate their, let's say, their contribution. One more thing that I think it's relevant, 2 more things. The first one is that, as I mentioned in the presentation, my presentation today, the governance, let's say, structure of the pact is evolving, and after an important and interesting competition at the beginning of the year, we have 2 cities that represent all the 37, 40 signatory cities of Africa, and they will, according to the new governance guidelines, they will develop, let's say, their leadership plan together. Develop and of course implement in the 2 years ahead. So we are let's say, we are pushing ahead forward the regionalization process. Also during the event in Barcelona, our global forum, there will be a space dedicated for the different regions, and then in the plenary session there will be also a moment in which the 2 representatives in the steering committee, so Antananarivo and Ouagadougou, will explain, let's say, the strategy for Africa. And finally, the last point is that we are also interested in having more signatory cities in Africa, trying maybe to focus in on cities that are really engaged and really, let's say, active on food policy issues. There is no need that they should be very advanced, but they should be, let's say, cooperative and interested, because the idea is not to reach like 1,000 signatory cities, but stay around 200, but to one effective 200. So 200 cities that let's say, participate actively in the pact. So this is also something that we can bear in mind for having new signatory cities in Africa. But to conclude, very happy to give, let's say, provide the platform, the handbook, the knowledge of the pact award as our contribution to go ahead. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Filippo. There will be Andrea, but Andrea has left the floor to Cecilia. Andrea will intervene afterward. Cecilia, please.
No, thank you. Thank you for this interesting exchange, and thank you, Filippo. So, I mean, as I said in my presentation, this is an interesting opportunity, because creating alliance at regional and global level, it's extremely important in this to move this agenda forward. And I want to build on what Filippo was saying, that I mean, a lot of work is on the ground in African cities. So we are supporting FFAO, in some cases supporting with many initiatives in partnership with the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact, and many other initiatives are in place with other city network and other international organizations. As I mentioned in my presentation, I mean, FAO, I mean, as a neutral organization, is really pushing to be with one voice. And so, as Filippo knows, and I already mentioned in my presentation, we have this global urban food system working group, including UN agencies, including City Network, Milan Urban Food Policy Pact, ICLEI, C40, different UN agencies, research institute. I see RUA Foundation. I mean, some of them already part of this discussion. And so now we are discussing the opportunity to create a coalition at global level on urban food system. And so, I mean, I think a focus on Africa is also important. So maybe what I would put on the table, because as you say, as I agree with the first speaker who was saying, I mean, this is just a brainstorming, because of course we need to consult, I mean, internally, but I would suggest really to bring this topic on an alliance of African cities, even on urban food system, even to other organizations. I mean, like in this case of this urban food system working group, to join efforts to map what is in African cities, because at FAO we have a number of cities where we are present. As I mentioned, there is the Urban Food Agenda, the Green Cities Initiative, actually a Green Cities regional program for Africa that we are going to start, where, I mean, the idea of creating a network of African cities is also there. So what I think I will strongly suggest is to join efforts, I mean, to facilitate this discussion and to be together, I mean, in order to avoid that we have the Milan Pact platform and then we have another platform from, I don't know, which kind of organization, and then the Green Cities FAO1. So I think it's important that we join efforts in order to be more, to have coherence and to be together, I mean, in pushing this agenda. So I strongly, so for example, what I would suggest, I mean, to Filippo in this case, that we bring this even in one of the next meeting of the Urban Food System Working Group, and to see how even other organizations can join, I mean, this initiative. Over.
Thank you very much. Cecilia, I think there is no other people, so Andrea you can intervene.
So thank you. Okay.
Just 1 second that Andrea will come at the desk.
So yes, I can go on. Okay, using some of the arguments told by Cecilia, I agree. The idea is not, in my opinion, is not to create another platform, because we know that it's not efficient it's an we don't need them. We don't need it. Maybe an initiative or maybe something else, but not a platform. Because yes, we know that in past years, after, but also before the Milan Pact, there were and also there are different existing networks or new networks. They are interconnected, so it's not, in my opinion, it's not the good direction to create another platform. I think that we can discuss about or to follow a direction of advocacy, or to follow another direction more to support local actions. They are not alternative, but I think that it's not clear to me what kind of social and institutional advocacy there is at international level on the topics of this day, the connection between city, food and climate. It's not clear to me. There are a lot of discussions, but not existing clear processes of discussion about it. So one direction can be to concentrate the activities of different people, network, existing network and so on, to do advocacy, or to have a more efficient but also effective, mostly effective action on the ground, which is another direction. I think that if we want to do advocacy and if we want to do something on the ground, they can be connected, but we need different kind of activities. So I think that first, to give an answer to question number 9, I think that while we are thinking about a form, my idea is not a platform, but something to decide. Before we have to decide the direction. First. Second, I think that it's clear to all of us that a lot of activities or what we call policies are not really policies. A lot of activities on the ground in our city, in the African cities, are mainly practices. Most of them are created and carried out by NGOs with the support of municipalities. Maybe they are really good projects. It's not an evaluation of the quality of the project, but most of them are practices and how to go out to policies at the city level, and then how to create the condition for real policies. I think that something that we can do together is to discuss how to create the conditions, because there are a lot of projects and okay, we can go on, but I think that we have to empower the capability of the cities to create policies, and so what kind of training. So the city-to-city cooperation, this morning there was a meeting, there was a speech about city-to-city cooperation. Is there the possibility and the capability to host African officer in European cities, for example, or shall we organize a common training for African cities? So these are only short examples about how to create conditions. So I think that the role, one of the roles of this potential alliance can be to create the condition between advocacy and something on the ground. And just to close my intervention, maybe the first step to go on after this meeting is to have a document to say, okay, let's try to work together to understand what we can do, because the question that Massimiliano Lafrati proposed, yes, this is a first discussion. We can give some first answer, but maybe we need to meet and to understand what kind of energy each of us can put on the table to do what. I only gave some suggestion about what to do, but my idea is not a platform, just to resume, not a platform, because there are a lot of networks and groups and initiatives, so on. To share ideas and to create something between advocacy and activities on the ground to scale up the initiative and to really jump from practices to policies, so to create the conditions. This could be.
Thank you very much. Simonetta, prego.
So, hello everybody. Before maybe I don't present myself, I work for Italian Association of Municipalities in the International Cooperation Department. And what I want to say is that the pact has a lot of cities participating, also African, but other countries, but also Italian, part of Milano with the promoting city. I think that if the city does participate in pact, engage themselves in putting their planning the objective of this pact, this could be a very important contribution. Not all the cities maybe have strategic planning. In Italy, this is for some medium cities, but also for metropolitan cities, they are obliged to make a strategic planning, but they can do this. And if they insert in the strategic planning or even annual planning, some, I don't say all the objective, but maybe the most joinable one in the moment, in the condition in which the city, the administration is, this could be a part of alliance. I felt the necessity, for instance, to involve more other Italian cities in this action. There are a lot important with partnership in Africa, Torino, Bologna, Genova, and so on. Those stay a lot. Really, what I feel as something like it's this network inside Italy and between Italian cities and their African partner cities in this case, but as part as a regionalization process also in Latin America and other areas of the world, this could be also for these other areas. As you know, during this pandemic, a lot of action have taken place in between cities of the world, Italian with European, with African, with Latin America. I personally discussed with Brazilian mayors the situation about their disaster in Brazil. And C40 also network has had discussion about collaboration on this. And so the same things could be done for food policies and food safety and for climate change. There is the pact of mayor, no? So there are a lot of network, really. The necessity is to put together these existing structures in a way. One could be this one, this is the planning, and the exchange of planning in the different contexts the cities have. For instance, international cooperation program project in which they are leader or partner, because we have a lot of cities partnered with ONG in Africa and a lot of originally partnered with a city in Africa in Italian project financed by Italian agency, but also in European projects financed by Europeans. So this is my opinion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Simonetta. I will be back to the screen. Okay. Is there any other one who want to contribute to this discussion?
If I can.
Oh, yes.
Too loud. Sorry, I don't know how to raise my hand. That's why I intervened in this way. Just to give like a very quick feedback to some of the solicitations received by Christina's intervention and also Andrea's once. As you remember, I work for the city-to-city cooperation unit. Just to, I mean, as the kind of job we've been doing these years with cities, obviously we've, I mean, mainly we've worked on exchanges of good practices through field visits and through trainings. We have a good example of, and I think an interesting ones, which I mean can be further developed, which was the one which was quickly gone through by Cecilia before, and it was the example of a cooperation we had last year with the Kigali and Nairobi. It was a triangular cooperation project financed by FAO, and it was thought to be a traditional one, but the COVID-19 crisis led us to think about a different way to have this exchange, which was thought to be in presence, so through field visits, through meetings mainly. So what we created is was an online platform where us and the cities, so Kigali and Nairobi, could put their experiences, their good practices as for the management of their urban food systems. And then so let's say that we in a way substituted the field visits through that platform, which was constructed by videos and the materials and written materials. And that what we did after was to obviously to discuss our own needs, because we put ourselves in the same on the same level as the African cities. I mean, we don't think to have something to teach, but we all have something to learn and teach one another. So this is our approach. And so the discussion went on through in that. I mean, I think that this is a limited version, but it's better than nothing. So we went through the discussion through online platforms, but I think that we really had the chance to go through our and their needs. And what came out from this process was an action plan of priorities agreed among the three cities to improve our food systems, to improve the three food systems. And I think this is, I mean, it could be better, but I think that as it was something experimental, and I think that it can be a good example. And also to like give a quick feedback to this stage. You were asking, Christina, about the stage of the level where we are in cooperation with the cities as for food systems. Mainly what I can say from these 5 years working in this unit, what we started from was thanks to the Fondazioni for Africa, the Italian Agency for International Cooperation, the European Commission, having some small activities in that field financed. So we started from an activity finance, which could be on waste management, on school canteens, or whatever. With the cities, we've had the chance to go deeper into this cooperation, and obviously our main partners are part of the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact. Obviously, I mean, for us, the Milan Urban Food Policy Pact is like a good container of let's say actors interested in working in such fields, and I think maybe I hope Filippo can confirm that we can bring also interesting partners and signatory cities for the pact. With the cities with whom we've had the chance to go deeper in this cooperation, the activities have become practices. Some of them have become good practices, and now we are trying to transform them, obviously together with the cities. When I say we, I don't mean the city of Milan. the partnership of the projects are working to transform them into policies. So this is the project, the process, sorry, we are experiencing, and we are starting to see policies nowadays. I hope to with diverse cities, and but I'm confident that we have not finished the process. That's it.
Thank you, Silvia. One consideration from my side, waiting for other intervention. I think from your intervention that we have two issues. From one side, the necessity of reinforce the existing structure, the existing network, the existing platform, and etc. From our point of view, and this is the second side, what is missing actually is something like a jump, a further jump, able to join some matters that actually are not joined. For example, as Andrea said before, advocacy and work on the ground, or for example, some practices with the big issues of the climate change that is coming every year more compulsive or more mandatory, or the jumping from practices to policies. This is what we think is actually missing, and so it is the reason why we are discussing with all of you. Not, of course, to overpass the existing platform and the existing structure, but to create some more links to have this, to fill this empty space. Is there any other one who wants to?
Yes, Filippo Gavazzeni has his hand raised.
Okay, sorry, Filippo.
Yeah.
I couldn't see that, sorry, really sorry.
No, that's okay. So thank you for your thoughts, Massimiliano, and thank you, Silvia. I also want to, let's say, quickly react to Simonetta's intervention and also to your thoughts, Massimiliano. So, Simonetta, as you mentioned, there are like 30 Italian cities that are active in the pact and 100 in Europe. So what we are doing and what we can do even more, let's say, is also creating matches among other Italian cities and European cities that may have developed particular knowledge on some field that could be interest of African cities, and we can do that thanks to the map, let's say, and the knowledge that we have acquired through the Milan Pact Awards, that is the joint and powerful initiative that we have together with the Fondazione Cariplo. So this is an exercise that we can do for the future, and so it's a good idea, and I second that. And After the thought that Massimiliano shared, I think that one thing that we, as the, let's say, the partners, as Silvia said, we can do for example, for the advocacy part, and also to establishing priorities, let's say prioritizing topics in Africa, is giving our support, because each of us can have something, let's say, to give to the two cities that now are representing the pact in Africa, inside and outside, let's say. So also towards regional and global organizations, for example. And this is something that will also accomplish the contents of the various declarations. I mean, the advocacy and the governance that will accomplish the different declaration that we had after our regional fora in Africa. And as for the climate topic and the relation with the food system, this will be the main point of the global forum in Barcelona next October, in which, of course, let's say the partner, you, let's say, and the African cities will be invited, and we can discuss on it there. Thank you.
Thank you, Filippo. Thanks a lot. Koulibaly Seydou from Burkina want to take the floor, please. Koulibaly. Oh. Excusez-moi, Koulibaly, si vous voulez intervenir, vous le pouvez faire. Vous pouvez écouter?
Ok, merci bien. Merci pour la parole. Donc, moi, c'est Koulibaly Seydou. Je suis du Burkina Faso. J'interviens, je suis coordonnateur de l'association Union pour la santé et le bien-être. Nous avons eu à travailler avec la fondation ACRA au Burkina. Donc, je voulais peut-être répondre à la question 1 pour vraiment atteindre les objectifs de cette alliance. Je pense que cette alliance pourrait prendre la forme d'un consortium d'acteurs. Voilà, cela permettra de concilier les forces, de partager les expériences entre les acteurs. Voilà. Pour la deuxième question, oui, on m'entend?
Oui.
Ok, merci. Donc, pour la deuxième question, c'est par rapport au rôle de notre organisation dans l'Alliance. Donc, notre organisation est plutôt s'oriente surtout sur l'implication des autorités locales dans le développement de base. On accentue aussi l'empowerment, c'est-à-dire l'autonomisation des femmes et des jeunes dans l'agriculture familiale. Voilà, donc je pense que notre rôle on pourra jouer plus le rôle de plaidoyer auprès des autorités de la municipalité. Voilà, donc c'est en même temps pour dire que c'est notre stratégie. Notre stratégie sera basée plus sur le plaidoyer. Voilà. Maintenant, l'obstacle que nous voyons, puisque nous sommes une structure qui a moins de consortium, nous n'avons pas encore eu à tisser un consortium international. Donc, bon, c'est vraiment si par la suite nous pouvons avoir en tout cas des renforcements de compétences pour nous organiser afin de tisser ce consortium international. Ok, merci pour la parole.
Merci beaucoup, Koulibaly. Elena from Africane Foundation now, she will try to translate into English.
Okay, sorry, I missed the name of the organization you work for, but I understood that you feel the need to create a consortium to coordinate your efforts and to share your experiences, because you're working on the field now and you are you're working on involving young people and women, but you feel your obstacle is mainly in the lack of a coordination, international consortium to also provide some more competencies, some more skills. This is what roughly I understood. Is that correct?
We think so. Okay, thanks a lot, Elena, for your efforts, and thanks again to Koulibaly, and merci ancora Koulibaly. Is there any other intervention?
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I'm Giovanni.
Yes.
Sorry, I have a problem with the hand, and that my version of the laptop is not getting the hand within Zoom. I check with other colleagues, but I don't have. At least it's not the position the other they have. But okay, I can now share my comments. Thank you very much for the meeting. So I remember myself. Okay, I'm Giovanni Sartor. I'm from Manitese. I'm also representing Azione Terre. So I think that when you proposed us actually the alliance, I have different feelings. In one way, to me it's a challenge, because I see that there are many other networks already ongoing, and at the beginning, I didn't find exactly what the alliance can, the role the alliance can play, you know. Then, of course, it's, and even the role of an NGO like Manitese or a network of NGOs, considering that we are actually, as Andrea said, we are working on the field with the cities, with the concrete projects. Actually, what was shared this morning was, I think, the evidence of it. The issue is, you know, how to scaling up. But my question is more the cities that they have to scaling up and coming up to policies, and then MUFP is already a network of cities that can really facilitate the development of policies for the different city are member of the network. Or there is a role for civil society. Maybe somehow I found our role more on maybe on local level, where of course we share with the city, with the municipality, suggestions coming from the civil society, from the local civil society, and we bring together, no, the municipality and the local civil society, the local farmers, the citizens, and we built together a project or a program. Then later on, it may have a component also of a strategic change for the city's policy on food. A role on international level, I found very interesting the FAO comment, the Cecilia intervention, because maybe that platform that she mentioned may be also more a platform where cities are accompanied and to develop policy. that may be also, that may answer part of the question of Andrea about advocacy. The other issue is more a kind of, we do advocacy also to raise interest on donors about the challenges of the cities and the municipality concerning food. And that is still to me an issue, because actually it's true that we this morning has been presented as a number of projects funded by the different actors that are actually on the table today. But it's also true that apart FAO, that actually have to recognize that they have a program on green cities, and we are also involved actually as Manitese. The other, I have not felt they have already a strategy, a specific strategy of funding for that kind of projects. Actually, what we have done, of course, in the last years, ourselves, also Fondazione ACRA, was more with the support of the agency, Italian Agency of Development. We have to recognize it. But actually, we did it within a kind of global call of proposal within projects that they had already. They had also other objective results, not only a specific strategy on the issue city and food. And also maybe also a question, no, how to keep the donors or interested on it in one way, and also to, you know, to advocate for donors policies and strategies on that issue, that I think is quite important. That is okay. My last comment actually is that I don't know well, and I think I'm talking with people that know more than me, a program of municipality of Milan that is Food Wave, that actually most of you are involved. You know that is not followed by me, but by a colleague in Manitese. But I think somehow that program, they have some components, or from what I understood, with some studies that have to be done, to bring from experience to policy some issue related to municipality and food, and they may be also starting point for the ones who are on this table involved to think about it, because then the issue, of course, to put together efforts and to work on it is always funding, you know, because all of you knows that of course what we could be able to do until today in the different cities was mainly because we had donors that were able to support us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Giovanni, and yes, also for your further highlighting about, for example, the task or the possibility for the donors to enter in a specific way in this idea. And I don't see other intervents, other requests of intervents. Is there anyone in... Giuseppe, vuoi eventualmente dire... excusez-moi. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Gilles. Please, the floor is to Gilles Martin, je pense.
Yes, thanks a lot, Gilles Martin. Yes, from a FAO colleague from Czechia. Thank you for giving me the floor, and thank you for this interesting discussion from this morning. I really appreciate it. I won't repeat what Cecilia said, and I fully agree with her and with Andrea also, of course. I would like just to stress some few comments, maybe four. The first one is that for such a dialogue, such a brainstorming, such an idea of linking activities of different actors on the ground and from, let's say, headquarters. I think that we need also city engagement, city involvement. And of course, it's very difficult to get them. But to think about strategy, to think about advocacy, to think about how to reach donors, how to coordinate also on the ground and from each quarter, some projects, actions. I think that cities, African cities are key. We cannot do this without them. I know that I think that you have tried to mobilize them as much as possible, and I do think that yes, it is absolutely necessary for us to not only to work with them on projects on the ground, but also for such dialogue. And for that, as Andrea said earlier, we need to jump from project to policies. And actually, our role should be also not only implementing a ground project, but also strengthening policies, reinforcing capacities from cities. And I think one of the action we could facilitate is also to share tools and support related to building capacity, to capacity building, related to policy support. We have spoken about this morning and early afternoon about, for example, the monitoring framework. That's good. That's a good point. FAO has developed with RAF also assessment tool. They are very important, not only for agencies or NGOs, but mainly for cities to clearly understand what is going on the ground, what are the assets, what are the gaps. And certainly we should strengthen how we could implement such assessment with cities, with local universities, in order to build capacity to understand the gaps and the challenges that have to be addressed and prioritized for each cities. In this within this proposal, we should develop by the end of the year a training on urban planning and how to introduce food system and green space in urban planning. And certainly once this kind of tool will be developed and tested, but should be interesting to make it accessible for all of actors such as we are around the table this afternoon, in order to build capacity close to the cities and with cities. I think also that to enhance policy engagement and buy-in, we certainly need to reinforce the dialogue between national and local authorities. It goes with the advocacy that Andrea called for, and certainly FAO could support such dialogue in specific countries. And with that, I think that we need to build on national city networks. We have the national Italian city networks with us this afternoon. That's a good point. But we need also African national city networks, because city-to-city dialogue, as we said, is very important. And at the national level, maybe such a network could help to introduce and reinforce food policies challenges among cities, as city-to-city dialogue and exchange are easier certainly at the national level and sub-regional level than at the regional or global level. And to move forward, I think that and maybe it was your idea with this exchange this afternoon, but we certainly try to strengthen, I don't know, such an alliance or such networking at the sub-regional level, as it is very difficult to address all the context, even at the African context level. And certainly working more closely at sub-regional level could be easier to engage concrete dialogue among us, concrete coordination, concrete strategies, as the context could be more similar, let's say. And yes, that's the points I wanted to share with you, and I think that's all. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you a lot, Gilles, and for your contribution, for your wide contribution. Of course, yes, but I think it's possible to hear also with the microphone far from me. Thanks again, anyway. Thanks, Gilles. Is there any other people who want to intervene? Altrimenti io ti lascerei la parola per quello che l'ipotesi che manca. Ok, Giuseppe De Santis.
Okay, an opinion, point of view, maybe a question for the other participants. The process we have seen today are driven by a very strong institutional process at the beginning. However, the participation of the civil society and the other player, like business market player entity, are recognized as a precondition for the sustainability of the change we want. I think we need a newest form of governance to manage this participation, to open the decision process to the civil society. I think that this open process is quite urgent. In my opinion, the precondition to build a very common shared vision of this process become a part of the transformation we want to get. What your opinion about it? If you consider an opportunity or something to reach, something to image?
Thank you, Giuseppe. Thanks a lot. We have 15 minutes to react if you want to this stimulus, and or to intervene with further opinions as you prefer. And then before the end of these 15 minutes, we could launch an idea on how to continue this process. But if you have comments from your side, they are more interesting than my voice in this phase. If there is no other request of intervention, and I think so, if different, please advise me. It could be useful to have the next step, for example, with a workshop in Barcelona in presence at the next meeting in Barcelona to arrive with a further step from your organization, starting from the points we have designed now, and we will give you some short summary of this workshop, of the main points of this workshop, and they could be a basis for a person meeting to develop and to arrive with a discussion between your organization about this idea. Okay, I think that Filippo is important. Filippo will agree, and I see.
Yes, what I can say, obviously, all my colleagues from Cariplo that Filippo knows very well, they are all involved in the process. There are many colleagues that are involved in the process of the pact. I'm here mainly representing, the relations with the African countries and the development cooperation unit, and also all the discussion that are open within our National Association of Former Banking Foundation for future and possible initiatives. I think that I can say, even on behalf of the other colleagues, that we are still open to go deeper into the discussion, to see what value is around, that's what kind of role maybe we could also play. It's easy to say that the minimum that we could do is to be sure that some of the initiatives that we are funding, and also within specific programs, maybe can be linked to the framework of that you described. But this is just an easy way. So I think that we can remain at the disposal to go deeper, to understand what are the possibilities of a deeper engagement. I know that's what is also have been always our intention, was to support our civil societies and also municipalities in building and strengthening their partnership at local level. So what Filippo was saying also, the idea of strengthening the partnership within Italian cities and African cities, this is also something that could involve not only cities, but also civil societies and all the actors of the territories. And I think that this is something, this is an approach that we know because we have supported in the past. So that's what I think we can put on the table at the end of this first brainstorming. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. And if there is no other intervention, thank you to everyone, also to have been part of our seminar in the afternoon too. We know that it's not easy to follow a seminar online for a long time, and you have not only taken part, but you have only put on the table many precious and interesting interventions. And so we would like to thank you again. We repeat, we will send you a summary of the main topics, the main pillars of the discussion of this afternoon, and with the position paper and the other documents that have supported the discussion since the beginning of this morning. And the next meeting could be in presence in Barcelona. And thanks again to you. See you soon, we hope. And okay.
Thank you.
Ciao, grazie a tutti.
Thanks.
Grazie.
Grazie.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
Grazie mille, ciao.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. Bye. E puoi dire che manderemo tutti il resto sulle presentazioni?
Sì, io ho detto. Ciao, spegniamo il collegamento. Spegniamo il collegamento. Let's go.